Hannah Arendt once observed, "Education is the point at which we decide whether we love the world, enough to assume responsibility for it." We often speak of freedom and rights, but rarely ask what it means to be human. If empathy and dignity were instinctive, would cruelty and selfishness spread so easily? Perhaps humanity is not a given. It is a value we must choose to learn and continue to teach. And maybe this is what we've forgotten, that being human isn't automatic. First, we act as if kindness comes naturally, without teaching or effort. Second, we design education to build success, but not always character. And third, we demand rights, yet hesitate to speak of responsibilities. Rights can be claimed unconditionally, but responsibilities must be practiced. A society that trains competition, but not compassion, produces performers, not citizens. If we don't nurture humanity, we shouldn't be surprised when it disappears. So now, what if you asked yourself, who taught you what it means to be human? And if humanity can be lost, what are you doing to protect it?
What would you honestly say?
Bertrand Russell once said, "The fact that an opinion has been widely held is no evidence. Whatever that it is not utterly absurd." We often trust majority decisions to represent what's fair or even what's true. The logic seems simple: if many agree, it must be right. But truth doesn't emerge from numbers. It grows through inquiry, evidence, and challenge. The real question isn't who agrees, but whether we've dared to think beyond the vote. And maybe that's the problem: we treat consensus as correctness. First, we believe that more voices make something more valid. Second, we assume that truth becomes official once enough people nod. But third, when agreement becomes the end of thinking, we risk replacing inquiry with comfort. A majority can affirm justice or simply affirm what's easy. Minority views may not always be right, but ignoring them ensures we miss part of the truth. Votes end decisions, not questions. So now, what if you asked yourself, do you believe majority decisions always reflect the truth? Do you find yourself agreeing with them even when unsure?
What would you honestly say?
George Orwell once wrote, "Political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable." Every society runs on power, not just values. Leaders claim they act for the people. But when decisions backfire, it's the people who suffer. Systems break, lives get hurt. Yet we often replace the face, not the foundation. We rarely ask how power keeps slipping through untouched, and why we're so used to letting it happen. And maybe the real issue isn't who holds power, but how little they're held to account. First, we let leadership change distract us from structural flaws. Second, we watch power fail but allow it to protect itself through language, delay, and distance. And third, without ethical ground, the system rewards escape over responsibility. We say we want accountability, but our silence grants permission. If responsibility can be avoided, then what we call leadership may just be the art of not taking blame. So now, what if you asked yourself, when leaders fail, do you hold systems accountable or just scroll past? Where should accountability begin, at the top or at the root?
What would you honestly say?
Carl Sagan once reminded us, "We rely on science and technology, yet few truly understand how they work." For centuries, humanity trusted truths shaped by faith and authority, defining our origins and values. Now, artificial intelligence gathers fragments, compares sources, and reveals what belief may have concealed or history left out. AI uncovers truth without loyalty to tradition or emotion. AI presents truth without belief, and that may be exactly why we resist it. And maybe this is where our conflict with AI truly begins. First, AI presents answers without belief, only patterns. Second, it exposes contradictions in the stories we once held sacred. And third, it does not comfort us with meaning, only correlation and probability. If what we called miracles were products of history and power, would we still defend them? Or is it time to re-examine what we inherited as truth and ask whether it was ever truly ours? So now, what if you asked yourself, if AI's answers shake your core beliefs, how would you respond? Do we resist uncomfortable truths, or do we grow through them?
What would you honestly say?
Zygmunt Bauman once wrote, "Progress is not inevitable. It depends on the choices we make and the responsibilities we accept. We often imagine the future as something that arrives on its own, shaped by time rather than intention. But in truth, it is quietly shaped by habits, trends, and unnoticed decisions. We are not just witnesses to change, we are builders, even when we don't realize what we're building." And maybe the real issue is that we've forgotten to ask where we're going. First, we've equated growth with goodness. More expansion, more speed, more reach, always more. Second, we prize innovation but rarely ask who it serves. Much of our progress seems designed more to impress than to protect. And third, when momentum becomes the goal, we risk forgetting what truly matters. If we define success by size alone, we may build endlessly while losing what we built for. So now, what if you asked yourself, do you always choose in ways that build the world you want? If the future matched your vision, would you like what you see?
What would you honestly say? See you in the next video.